1988 Chevy S10. A truck so quaint and simple that I can't find anything negative to say about it. And even if I could, those negative words would be overshadowed by a smile I had the entire time while driving it. I'm not even a Chevy guy, but I fell in love with this truck and all of the 80s box styling about it. And I want something similar from this era. Maybe someday. Classic buckle style seat belts. Fuck yeah. Only place you can get these anymore is in a Hot Topic in the novelty section. History time. So in 1972, Chevy made a deal with Isuzu and rebadged the Isuzu KB. However, just a year later in 1973, when the oil embargo hit, GM started considering building their own compact pickup trucks. The S line of pickup trucks were introduced in 1981 along the GMC S10. The two were identical except for the grille and tailgate and the badges. These were the first American-made compact pickup trucks. The first generation lasted from 1981 for the 1982 model year up to 1993, where the second generation picked up in 1994. The first generation came with a myriad of different options and trims, but for the sake of time, we'll keep it simple. There were a few options when it came to the cab and the bed, but this truck is single cab and short bed. Relatively small, yes, but still enough to carry around the essentials. In 1988, you can get the Pontiac-built Iron Duke 2.5 liter overhead valve inline 4-cylinder, which made a whopping 92 horsepower at 4,400 RPMs and a gut-wrenching 132 foot-pound of torque at 3,200 RPMs. That may not sound like a lot, because it's not, especially by today's standards, but it was the late 80s. Emissions and government regulations for fuel economy choked the power out of everything. The other engine option for this year was a 2.8 liter V6, making 125 horsepower at 4,800 RPM and 150 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400, which is better and pretty good for the late 80s, but again, by today's standards, that's not much. But for a truck this size, you don't really need much more than that. So what about the gas mileage? Who knows? You fill up when you need to and you don't really ask many questions. This engine was originally built to have a carburetor, but carburetors were phased out, and the last vehicle sold with a carburetor was in 1987, and seeing how this is 1988, this truck has throttle body injection, which is basically two fuel injectors sitting on top of the throttle body spraying fuel into the intake manifold along with the air. So, for getting as much out of this truck as possible, what is it redline at? I couldn't tell you. The gauge cluster in this truck has no tachometer, so when you're coming from a dead stop and shifting into first or shifting in general, you have to play it by ear and feel. And it's got the classic 5-speed, first gear is in Washington State, second gear is in South California, third gear is in North Dakota, fourth gear is in Mexico, and fifth gear is in Maine with reverse in Florida. So, you're going to be definitely rowing through some gears to get around town in this one. Safety features. You have seat belts and the steel of the truck around you. That's about it. The doors are thin, just enough room for the window to roll down into them. You have no airbags because those weren't federally mandated until 1998, and car manufacturers were trying to hold off as long as possible to changing their designs to incorporate the airbags. What kind of rollover protection do you have? You have the roof. That's about it. Traction control is dependent on how much gas you give it and how fast you let the clutch out. Forget stability assist because I'm pretty sure this truck doesn't even have ABS, so good luck with that. Even with this truck being over 30 years old and considered a classic, it rides surprisingly smooth. The seats are comfy and bouncy because they had to be back then, because the seats were part of the suspension, so they had to be comfortable. The power steering is light, again, because 80s, and it wasn't really computer controlled, it was more so the pump gives you what it wants. You don't have much more control over that. The steering wheel does not go in or out, up or down, so what you get is what you get, and you're going to have to deal with it. All in all, this truck is fantastic. Yeah, it may need some work here and there, but what doesn't after 30 years? If you take care of this truck or any like it, it'll take care of you and last longer than anything new that is being made today. It's simple enough for a couple of friends to wrench on in a yard, and you know it was built during a time before planned obsolescence was everywhere, and cars and trucks were still built to last. Got a classic turbo gooch cooler ball chiller 3000 up in this, so you know you're gonna be nice and cool on the way home if the AC actually works.
honestly does sound really good.
Was it popping?
Oh yeah. Mainly because the exhaust leak, but it still sounds good.
The only reason why it sounds that good is because there's a giant ass hole in the muffler.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it.
Right. Oh shit! Yeah.
I had to clean my tires off.
That was fucking sick.
Just wait until it's wet outside.
Right. You and me both gonna be spinning. I got traction control, stability control, all this other shit to keep me safe. You got a brake and a clutch and a gas pedal and a steering wheel. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't even got airbags. You just got the truck's body because it's still made out of steel.
If we were both going 30 miles an hour and you hit me head on,
This would survive.
yeah,
My car would be probably decimated.
you'd be totaled.
Yeah. Airbags popped. As soon as an airbag pops, the car's done for.
I mean, there'd be a good bit of damage.
Yeah,
My truck,
but like for
I
you,
mean,
literally just replace the fender, replace the hood, replace the grill, and like maybe the bumper cover.
pretty much.
That's about it.
Pretty much. Take two. Scene one, take two.
I'm country boy again in not my Chevy S10 from 1988. I'm the least southern guy because I'm a fucking Yankee. I'm gonna jump out without busting my ass for the third time. Parkour! That kind of hurt my fucking shoulder.
I hate you so much.
I hate me too, bro.
One thing I hate about leather seats, they just get hot.
Tell me about it. Like, your truck may be black, but my car, oh my god, it gets like 120 in that fucking thing. Whew. You ready to go, bro?
They don't want to retract. There it goes.
All right. There we go. Didn't even have to burn the clutch.
It sounds a lot quieter on this side.
Yeah. Which is ironic because the exhaust comes out from that side, and that's where the exhaust leak is.
Yeah.
I like how she just cruises in second gear though. But I find it funny how you don't have a tach, like a RPM gauge.
Yep.
Like, you just gotta go off sound. But it works, so it's alright. We ain't gonna stop because we don't need to. There's not a stop sign, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
Sounds so good.
I love that fucking sound.
Right? And it's smooth. Like, you wouldn't expect it to be this smooth for a 33 or 31-year-old truck.
32.
32. We getting there. Oh. Alright, you know what? I'm sorry.
Jesus.
It started jumping on me. I'm like, you know what? There we go. That was a lot smoother.
Now you're gonna have to throw in, if you're doing like a voiceover or something like you do, or
Yeah.
unless you're just gonna keep this part in.
I'll
The
do both.
reason why the steering is as off as it is because this truck is not made to really be on the road. It is made to be an off-road truck.
Really?
So when you're hitting trails and you hit the ridges and stuff, it keeps the steering wheel, the reason why the steering wheel is loose is so that way whenever you bounce, you're not shaking your truck all over the place. You still have that
okay.
little bit of leadway.
Yeah. And it's also like 80s power steering, so it's like it's
Yeah.
insanely light because it's not really computer controlled. So it's just, oh, you wanted light steering? Here's light steering.
Yep.
And I'm so used to how a car shifter is that it's like, where's the shifter? Oh, it's
Yeah.
an extra like 4 inches away.
It took me a second to get used to it too.
Yeah, because you had the tipper on. How long you have the tipper on for? Like a year and a half?
Not even. Like,
Not even.
Not
Around
even a year.
I thought you had it for a year.
No.
Oh, that rev match was smooth. I don't even have a gauge to check, but that was smooth. I'm proud of that. See, you can learn how to drive stick from a fucking racing wheel in video games.
You can, but once you go from racing games
To an
the
actual
real
stick,
thing,
it's so different.
because in the game, when you're like messing with the pedals, it doesn't have like the clutch grip, like the friction.
Yeah, like it's literally just
It
like
doesn't have the
pressing a
friction.
soft button essentially, because
Yeah.
it's literally just a sensor and a spring. That's about it. So you
Yeah.
don't get the feel, but like it helps you get the general rhythm down.
Yeah, it does.
You know, and it's like so amazing. It just feels so nice.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
But that's also what happens when you have pretty much brand new tires all around.
Right.
That you didn't have to pay for.
Even better. Just driving this makes me want an old truck even more.
And then, you know, taking back roads like this,
Mhm.
it's such a nice, relaxing ride in something this old.
Like even without AC, it's nice.
And then, not to mention that this truck, the year that it was made, which is '88, today is now considered a classic.
Yeah.
So I own a classic.
Yeah, which actually helps on insurance,
Yeah.
like big time.
Because, I mean, from where I was paying on my Tibby, I was paying almost $300 a month just for liability.
Damn, just for liability?
Yeah, just for liability. This truck, I've got full coverage and I'm paying $140 something.
Damn, that's really good actually.
Might not want to start off with. Yeah.
There we go. The clutch has a nice feel to it, like you know when it's grabbing. Like the Tippy was great, but I couldn't feel shit in the clutch or the gas.
Next time
Or-
you go
or
to
the
shift,
shifter. Yeah.
don't push it all the way. Push it like halfway.
Oh wow.
You don't even have to push it that far.
Oh yeah, because I remember what was his name, Joey?
Yeah.
He was saying that whatchamacallit, it grabs real high.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is nice.
It's a very nice ride.
Oh yeah, and like because it's 80s power steering. You said just hold it, right?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Because it's 80s power steering, like it doesn't let up when you're on the highway, so you still get that, oh shit, it's really light, so if I wanted to, I could just flip us right now, you know?
Please don't.
I would never.
Please don't.
I also got to be careful because we're only doing like 50,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know what the top's, well, you said it was like around 65-ish,
Yeah.
so it's like, she's
And that's
going.
me pushing it.
Yeah. So hopefully people understand that it's an old truck, so it's like you might want to move out the way.
Yeah.
I might downshift the Ford actually.
Go for it.
I'm proud of myself that I can make the downshifts that smooth. This is flooring it right now. Get that country boy tan with the arm out the window.
Mustang from
Mustang.
Texas. God damn.
Mustang. How'd you make it that far without hitting anybody?
How'd you make it that far in a Ford?
Ow. I still like Ford. Piece of shit.
Look, man, I've got a Chevy S10. I rock a Chevy hat. My next tattoo is the Chevy bow tie, so, you know.
Seems legit. You're gonna be like James Pumphrey, sell your body to Dodge and get a tattoo of him.
Ah,
signal, you fucking cunt. There we go, we doing 60 now.
When you go downhill, it's okay.
Right? I'm gonna shift into 6th. There is no 6th. It is only reverse.
I would cry. I would literally cry.
And then I would buy you a new transmission.
Like, you were up under this thing. You see how small that transmission is.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like...
Right? She a old girl. I love the neutral, just wiggle. I hear the click of the turn signal, but I don't see it on the dash.
Yeah, the left side don't work, but the right turn signal does.
Seems legit. Makes sense that car's on the side of the road. It's a Volkswagen.
It's a Volkswagen, yeah.
A Volkswagen, yeah. What's the stars? I don't even know what you're doing.
You do that way too well.
Way too well?
Way too well.
Oh, it would help if I was actually in the gear. There we go. It was in, but it wasn't in, you know what I mean?
I was gonna wait for you to figure that part out.
Okay. So that's what you meant by it pops out sometimes? Yep. Okay, I got it. So you gotta hold it there while you're still got the clutch in. I gotcha.
That's the only gear it'll do it in. Other than that, we're good.
Yeah. Oh, this is so nice. I would take this truck on a road trip.
I would after I get everything completely fixed on it.
There we go. In a second. Didn't even downshift the first.
The only time I use first
is basically from a dead
if I'm
stop.
pulling out of a parking spot. Because I normally back in because my backup lights don't work.
Yeah.
Oh, give it some speed.
I don't want to hit the railroad tracks too hard, so I ain't trying to fuck your shit up too bad. Oh, my bad. So what you're saying, I can just like give it a little in the twisties? As long as I don't fuck it up?
I mean, if you want.
I won't give her too much beans. Just enough. The only scary part is like other trucks, because it's like, do they know how big they are versus how small we are? But at the same time, how big we are?
Hear that crackle?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I also hear a little bit of creaking, but that's just metal on metal because it's old as shit.
Yeah. That's all that is the cherry.
Ah. Oh my god, that sounded so sexy. I love how whenever I let off, it just goes gra ga 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 ga. I wish my car did that shit.
In the next 32 years, it will.
Right? When it's got a hole in the muffler, something just slid around in the bag, but you know what? It's alright because that bed can take a fucking missile.
I think it's a jack stand I got.
Something like
or
that.
Or a floor jack or something. I don't know what the hell it is. It's something.
Can we take this car in fourth? We can. As long as we're not stopped, we can take it in fourth.
Yeah. Why is this lane so tiny?
Yeah, I don't know. Pushing it real good this time so it doesn't slide. Are we going?
Good.
We're not.
We good.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, here's my key.
I didn't even fucking notice. It's a Chevy. Goddamn.
Hold on. Hold on a second. There we go.
The entire time, I didn't even realize there was no key.
Dude, someone's gonna mention it in the comments.
That's
Someone's
amazing.
Gonna have
That
to
is
mention
fucking
that.
amazing. I love this so much. So fucking
So like
much.
if I'm ever drinking and driving and one of my friends goes like, no.
Like, what the fuck?
But I would never drink and drive. Kids, don't drink and drive.
Or better yet, just, you have lost glove box privileges. If I can get it in there. I can't get it in there. That's the wrong one.
That's what she said.
That's the one. Fuck, wrong way. There we go. You have lost glove box privileges.
I can't get in. Build a second.
There you go.
But yeah,
There we go.
I honestly forgot about that too.
That's amazing. I love it so much.
The feelings brought on by this truck reminisce of a time when you were a young boy, riding around with your dad in his old 91 F-150, completely innocent to the world, and knowing nothing but the joy as the two of you go down the dirt road together. Time passes, you're grown up, and dad's been gone for a few years and that truck has been gone for a few more. But you get to experience that feeling again for the first time since you were a child. But now it's cruising down the back roads in an 88 S10, not only with a friend that you've known for years, but one of the handful of people you can safely and truthfully call your brothers. While the two of you may not talk every day or hang out every weekend, you know if one needed help, the other would already be on the way. And that's the same for all those you consider a brother. Till the bitter end.
So, do you have any last words for the kind viewers of Ruski Mike?
Huh? If you say you want something, work hard, you'll achieve it.
Fuck yeah. Wholesome as shit. I love it.
That's dead set. Because I never thought in my life I'd have an older vehicle. And I mean, it's built the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not too low, it's not too high.